Hello, my name is Mark. We're going to wait for that cuckoo clock. This is Mark Hafeman. With me, you can paint anything. Whether you're painting outdoors in the garden or you're painting inside the studio, the principles are the same and the materials are the same. As far as canvases go, there's this type of canvas that has sort of a half-inch thickness and it has a wood frame. Another type of canvas is just applied canvas to a board and it's very thin. This is much cheaper and good for students. Today I'm going to use this canvas, the thicker type. And I have laid out here on this table some of the materials you'll need to paint. I use a very big brush, then a medium filbert and a small brush. I also use a large knife, a medium knife and a small knife. These are very important both for mixing paints and for applying paints to the canvas itself. I use all of these materials in applying the paints. I also bring out a tube of white paint because I mix this with almost every other color. So once again, to recap, you need at least 3 brushes and 3 sized palette knives, and to paint this type of flower arrangement I have today, you'll need the colors that I selected. And you'll see that I'm painting indoors today. I could just as easily be outdoors painting, and it would be the same procedure. Alright, let's get painting. You'll notice that I have a French easel. This is often used for traveling and for plein air painting. You can also use it indoors. I attach the canvas in such a way that I can paint all the surfaces of the canvas. You'll notice that this canvas this holder has little screws that pull up. This allows me to hold the canvas in place. I'm now going to start by mixing some of the paint. I'm going to choose, to begin with, some of the French ultramarine, and I'm going to choose a little bit of the alizarin crimson because I want to make really a dark color here. And the reason I'm making a dark color is because I'm making a border, sort of an outer border for the flowers, and the darker the color the better, because it will make the flowers show up more. You'll notice I'm using a medium palette knife on this. And I'm sort of just mixing these together until I get really quite a dark color. And I'm going to use this large brush now to apply this. I'm going to also use a little bit of solvent here. I'm going to dip this in this solvent. If you have acrylics or watercolors, you might not need the solvent. You might just use water. But you want it sort of liquidy. Now I'm just going to apply this, and I'm going to look at the shapes of that. And I see some flowers, I'm painting negatively, so I see some flowers that are going to fill all the way to this canvas over here on this side. I see some on top. I'm making just sort of an interesting design here. I'm not worrying too much about exact things. I'm just simply capturing some of the space that I see between these yellow flowers, and I take it right out of the tube. And I still have some of that dark color on my brush from doing that background, and that's fine. You'll notice that this has a little bit of various colors in here now. And I'm just going to take a little more solvent on this so that it's a little wetter. And I'm going to put in some of these here. This is called the poking method. I'm just sort of poking it into the canvas. I got it a little too wet here, which is fine. I'm going to adjust the color a touch. I'm going to add a little more. So now I've already added some of these. I noticed that some of the green one over here has a very slight I mean, some of the blue has a very slight green in it because it's sort of a new type of bud. So I'm adding a little bit of that yellow light green here to try to capture that. So you've seen now that what I've done is I basically laid in some of these colors. Now I'm going to switch to another large brush, only because I'm going to be doing yellow next, and I want to keep that brush clean. So I'm going to dip right out of this tube some of this yellow, and here's how I make some of these. Notice when the first flowers were made, I was doing sort of a blotching, sort of a poking action. These, the way to capture these is you're going to have to move the brush in sort of a twisting action. You'll notice that and I'm changing back and forth from different colors yellow here, because the yellow is a little different. And I'm going to add a little orange over here, because as some of these lilies come in, they have some orange in them over on that side. I'm going to use a little more yellow in here, some yellow down in here, some oranges coming through, that's all right. I cover some of these that were done earlier in places, but not too much. I'm getting sort of a riot of color now, which is exactly what I want. And you're just sort of capturing the feeling of the leaves here. And other colors can mix with them, it's fine. I'm getting this uniform thing on. Okay, I have enough of that shade of green, and sometimes I let it dry, sometimes I don't. Notice how I'm coming with a lighter green now. Now, I'm going to start using the palette knife a little bit, because some of these flowers over here I want to capture. I'm going to clean off a little bit of this. What you're seeing here is a way to paint impressionistic styles. Other people are going to be very detailed and want a very exact rendition of the thing.
Yes.
And that's fine too. But I think that what we're trying to learn here is how to do sort of an impressionistic style, because impressionistic style captures the feeling of the thing, and is something that people seem to enjoy looking at. And it's also, you know, this obviously has a lot of movement to it and a lot of life to it. And that's really what you want to capture, is the movement and the life. And if somebody were to look at this, they'd feel the movement and life, and that's what the goal is. So. All right.